Dear students, today we are going to discuss an interesting subject in agriculture economics. The topic is the Green Revolution. Green Revolution comes in the Indian economy in the 8 years between the commencement of the third plan and the fourth plan. That is 1961 to 69 were the years of great significance for Indian agriculture. And the new strategy of agriculture production came to be introduced around this period. And the first stage of the new strategy pertained to the intensive agriculture district program, that is called IEA and DP. This is base for the Green Revolution. And the Green Revolution was an endeavor initiated by Norman Borlaug in the 1960s. He is known as the father of Green Revolution in the world. It led to him winning the Nobel Prize in 1970s for his work in developing high-yielding varieties, that is HIVs of wheat. India, the Green Revolution was mainly led by the M.S. Swaminathan. His contribution is a lot to the development of agriculture by using the high-yielding varieties of seeds. The Green Revolution resulted in a great increase in production of grains, especially wheat and rice, due to the introduction into developing countries of new high-yielding varieties seeds beginning in the mid of 20th century. So with this introduction, you have to see the features of Green Revolution. So in this section, you have to see the main features of Green Revolution. And the first and foremost feature is introduction of new and high-yielding varieties of seeds. Second one is increased use of fertilizer and pesticides in order to reduce the agriculture losses. And the third one is increased application of fertilizers in order to enhance agriculture productivity. And the fourth one is use of latest agriculture machinery like tractor, seed drills, tillers and harvesters. Last one is use of disease resistance varieties so that the production will enhance. These are the 5 important features of Green Revolution. In this part, we have to discuss why the Green Revolution is more important. Because the reason is very first one is the operation of agriculture is large scale. India agriculture is doing the large scale. Second is to increase crop production, because we need the demand of production day increase day by day. This is the reason the Green Revolution is more important, most important. And third one is there is a scientific cultivation. We accept the scientific cultivation. And fourth one is development of industries. And industries also develop at the same time. Agriculture sector must be increased in order to meet out the demand supply also. And for next one is the help to grow more crops. And last one is production in drier areas. Agriculture is needed. So these are the importance of Green Revolution. In this session, you have to see what are the aims or objectives of Green Revolution. There are 4 objectives: the short-term, long-term, employment, and the globalization point of view. Come to the short-term objectives. The revolution was launched to address India's larger crisis during the second 5-year plan. And long-term objectives include the overall agriculture modernization based on rural development, industry development, infrastructure, raw materials. We need the agriculture protection and productivity with the help of this Green Revolution. And third one is the employment, to provide employment to both agriculture and industrial workers. Green Revolution must be increased. Production productivity must be increased. And last one is globalization of agriculture work by spreading technology to non-industrialized nations and setting up many corporations of the major agriculture areas. These are the objectives of Green Revolution. This part to see what are the techniques of Green Revolution. And the basic approach was the development of high-yielding varieties of seed, cereal, grain, expansion of irrigation infrastructure, modernization of management techniques, distribution of hybrid hybrids, seeds, synthetic fertilizer, and pesticides to farmers. The green revolution has mixed results. So these are the techniques which are using the green revolution in India in order to develop the production and the productivity of food grains. In this section, what are the uses of merits of green revolution? There are a lot of merits. We have to concentrate only on. It was beneficial because it helped produce more food, prevented to starvation of many people. It also result lower production cost and sale price of produce. Although, in fact, so many it has several benefits. The green revolution has a little bit of negative effects of the environment and the society. We don't bother about the negative effects. The still uses of green revolution still is continues going on positively. So we have to take into positive consideration. In this class, we got to see the what are the positive impacts of green revolution. Even though we have the users, we are having so many positive impacts of green revolution. Very first one is a tremendous increase in the crop production is also increased, and second is reduced import of food grains is also the reduction of high yield varieties, and third one is the benefits to the farmers. The farmers are benefited much due to the green revolution, and fourth one is industry growth. Industry growth is also large form of mechanization created demand for different types of machines like tractors, thresher, compressor, diesel engines, and last one is rural employment is also increased because introduction of the green revolution. These are the positive impacts of green revolution. Even though we are having so many positive impacts, certain negative impacts is also in the green revolution. Very first one is non-food grains left out. Some of the food grains are left out due to the introduction of the green revolution, and the limited coverage of high yielding varieties of HYVP, high yielding varieties program was restricted to only for 5 crops: wheat, rice, jowar, bajra, and maize. Some of the crops are left out. So these are the two major negative impacts of green revolution. The last part of the section is the conclusion. Overall, the green revolution was a major achievement in many developing countries, especially India, and gave the unprecedented level of national food security. However, the lower heed was paid to the factors other than ensuring the food security, such as environment, the poor farmers, and their education about the know-how of such chemicals. It represents the successful adaptation of and transfer of the scientific revolution in agriculture that the industrial countries has already appropriated for themselves. So the background we have to with this conclude the session, and the conclusion is the most important one in the Indian economy.